2 GB handset. It comes with GPS capability, and it just takes one call to the operator to activate the connection. If Airtel today is already pushing the GPS settings when you actually buy a prepaid card. So the numbers in the country today are mind-boggling. We estimate that the whole mobile net in the country is around 4.5 million pages per month. AdMob just kind of serves around 4 million impressions, being the numbers. So the point is the industry associations actually have to take a call of comparing some numbers. IIMB support the industry, the way it's about internet, they support the mobile piece, and actually come up with numbers, do some researches, and kind of make the data public available. When the brand advertisers actually take note of what kind of numbers we have to make. So market is significantly big today. We have done lots of campaigns, and we actually doing a lot of campaigns on a daily basis. So the market is big. The market is big.
Okay, I think I must conclude this. We have time over lunch to continue to ask those questions. The panelists will be here. Request a round of applause for all the panelists, please.
I'd like to thank all the panelists and Swami for a very interesting panel discussion. May I request Swami to present a word of thanks to all the panelists, starting with Zubair. Well, we also want to present a very small memento. And finally, Zubair. I request Raja to present a memento to Swami. We break for lunch now. And I request all of you to reassemble at 2:30. And we'll have a keynote session on innovation and opportunities for entrepreneurs.
Growth that we have witnessed in the last decade or decade and a half, that one good thing happened in India is the mobile penetration. I mean, it's compared to any other developed country. I mean, this was a gradual process, but in India it happened in leaps and bounds in the last decade, right? So that means it presents really a great opportunity for anybody working in this space. So when we have this huge base, a lot of subscribers there, big penetration, and we are adding at the rate of 8 to 9 million per month, something like 2 Singapore populations a month. That's incredible. I mean, imagine the kind of opportunities that will come out of these, subscribers, because you have a base to address. And it's much more than PC, because the mobile is a personal device more than your personal computer, because you're carrying with you. And so you can use the technologies to come out with very innovative stuff that people can consume. So not only just consuming, they're willing to pay it. So that's something that we can look at. So of course, I mean, it's no brainer. We all know that mobile is penetrating a lot in India. The rate of penetration is quite high, and it's actually we are month by month we are creating new records. Last month it was 9.22 million, and now of course PC we don't expect the same growth because of lack of infrastructure, and don't think that in the future it will happen. So the only one to leverage is the mobile phones. So let's say what is happening now, because we see that penetration is there, but are we really consuming the service? I mean, putting a device in somebody's hands is a different thing, and whether these guys are really consuming the service is a different thing. So just take a look at the vast trend. So don't go and read the figures here. I'm just trying to show here that, yes, when mobile was launched in India in 1995 or maybe before that, basically it was seen as a communication device for making voice calls, or maybe, of course, the SMS came into existence and the people started using SMS. But of course, on the SMS we have teething problems and issues like language and user interface still there. Not everybody using SMS in the English. So, but if you look at the breakdown of these ARPU trends in India, of course, you see that there's a significant ARPU is coming from the voice, but not much on the data side. But looking at current scenario, the operators are actually, differentiating themselves by, playing these price wars on the voice. So they're differentiating, so they're going with aggressive price plans. So eventually, voice is becoming more of a commodity service. There's nothing there to differentiate. So what are you going to do now to actually entice the end user like? So because one of the key problems for operator is to retain the customer. Because there's a lot of churn will happen if they're not actually retained. So they have to come with something creative, something like a new set of services, bundled, and then that can be delivered to the end user. So yes, I mean, the market will grow, but it's not happening the way we want. Of course, that means that we need to look at some of the issues here. Yes, there is a potential on the data side. It will be a data market eventually. Into 2009 and 2010s, we can see that with the advent of 3G, we can see that more and more data services will be coming in the market. But having said that, are we heading to the right direction? Are we innovating the right stuff here? Like, are we targeting the right segments? So I think we need to learn a few things like here, like how to address the niche market segments. We need to really look at that. We really see that what are the pain points here that the consumers are facing. So that's again presents like a lot of innovations on the data side. So again, one way to look at it is like you have to see how the mobile phones have evolved over the period of time. So maybe 10 years back, the device was pretty much for voice and SMS. Now today we have seen, it has become like a converged device, right? So there are a lot of features in there, like you can see a camera there, you can see it's coming with this assisted AGPS, where you can track the location, and lots of memory out there. Memory is not a constraint. And if you look at some of our product launches recently, and 96, which has got 24 GB. So I don't think we are talking about some of the constraint that was a problem some time back, but it's really evolving as a multimedia computer itself, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with that. So how do we see that? One side, yes, the convergence happening from different domains, like internet is converging towards mobility. On the other side, a lot of other features from different consumer devices are also converging into the mobile phone. So you see that this single device will act like something, you carry it in your pocket, you can do a lot of things like that. So that means, when you talk about all these lot of things, all these capabilities of the phones, it presents an opportunity for you to innovate. So you have to think from that point of view. So yes, a lot of talk about this fourth screen or third screen. Of course, Nokia looks mobile as the fourth screen, apart from the TV, the PC, and the cinema. Of course, this, of course, as I said, it is a multimedia computer. So in India, it's going to be a third device. Who knows? Because we do not have that much of PC penetration, so it could be a third device where people like to use mobile phone to download the content, to watch movies. And with the advent of 3G, things will be entirely different. The experience they get. So there are a lot of things happening. So innovation is also happening on the device side. So we need to take this into consideration when we are thinking about any new idea. As I said, the internet is transforming the mobility, and the mobility is transforming the internet. So what does it mean? Of course, a lot of things that happen on the internet today we are seeing on the mobile phones. So, like for example, when we started looking at the internet, initially it was Web 1.0, where we were just looking at the web pages. It was nothing there for us to do any transactions, but later it evolved to something like a transactional based, and then we are in the era of Web 2.0, where we could kind of